the biz.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Jay Graham for What's the Biz 559, and I'm here with...
Darnell Rivera. Hello, What's the Biz family?
Yes, and we have some special guests.
Yes, we do. As you know, May is National Community Action Month, and I just want to share a little history on what National Community Action Month is all about. So, community action comes out of President Lyndon B. Johnson's war on poverty from the advocacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The Economic Opportunity Act of 1964 created the Community Action Network of national and locally focused organizations that connect millions of low-income families and children to a greater opportunity. So with that in mind, CSET, which stands for Community Services Employment Training, is the Tulare County Community Action Agency that we are highlighting today. And we are really excited who our guests are today. Today's guest is Business Support Specialist for CSET, our very own Amanda Chavez, along with the Director of Communication and Information Systems, Jeff Forbes. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
We are super excited to have you both here. So before we jump in and kind of dive into what CSET's all about, I just want to ask you guys if you guys can take turns and just share us who you are and how your journey led you to CSET. Amanda, you want to?
Yeah, sure.
Go for
so my name is Amanda Chavez. I work with the youth department as a business resource specialist. How I got to CSET was pretty interesting. So I actually was a participant in the youth program in Porterville at like 15 years old.
Wow.
And I recognized how important it was for someone of my age and my background to have that type of support. And so when I saw the opportunity to join an organization like this, I went for it.
Nice.
And so here I am now, went full circle.
And how many years have you been with CSET?
I've been with CSET for 6 years.
Oh, good. Good for you. And Jeff, what about you?
Before I came to CSET, my background was in local politics. I worked for an assembly member for a few years out of the Hanford area, and then for the Tulare County Board of Supervisors for about 5 years after that. And so as we're doing the work out in the community and with Tulare County, CSET was a name that we knew, and we knew the folks there, and we're always working with them as a trusted resource in the community. And so it was just through developing those relationships and then wanting to get more and more involved with the organization. Then I was able to come and join CSET, kind of doing marketing, and then we've expanded that role to have some more kind of IT and data. And I've been there for about 12 years doing that role.
Good for you. And you both enjoy being a part of that organization?
Yeah, it's great.
Love it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So with that in mind, let's talk a little bit about CSET's history. Who wants to share a little bit about their history?
I'll take that one. And like you said, we started out kind of born out of the Economic Opportunity Act in 1964. We started out with self-help enterprises based out of Visalia. We were kind of a joint organization, and CSET spun off from them in 1986. And so since then, CSET has been its own organization, and it started out really, really small with just a handful of people, and we've grown tremendously in those years. And so we're based out of Visalia, but we have offices all throughout the county and all throughout the communities, and we were just really, really growing, and we're excited about the work that we're doing.
Nice. And you guys just celebrated 47 years, right? Last year, 2022?
Yeah, and we're already starting to talk about our 50th and what we're going to do and gearing up for it. And just recognizing, each year is a great opportunity to get the word out about the work that we're doing.
I recall CSET being a great resource and opportunity for me as a single mom back in the day. I love that term, back in the day, by the way. But it was such a place to go. I remember, I didn't even know how to fill out a resume or create a resume. And I remember being led to CSET not only for, other resources, but how to fill out a resume. I remember going to classes and how to, talk and in an interview. And so it was a great experience for me. And I was a super young mom too. So very, very valuable. So let's talk about some of the services that you guys offer.
So we, in big picture, and then we can narrow in on it if we want to, we really have kind of 4 different areas where we provide service. We have our energy services department, And that provides, we do energy assistance. So for folks, we can pay one time a year their energy bill if they need assistance. We also have a fairly recent program called LIWAP, which is for water. So water bill assistance that we can provide for folks throughout the community, throughout Tulare County. And then the last part of the energy team is our weatherization services. So that's where we can go out and do low flow shower heads, weather stripping around the doors to make a home more energy efficient, which the benefit for the homeowner or renter is that it's reducing energy costs and reducing their bills. So it keeps the house cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter.
Wow. So if someone needed those type of resources, what would they have to do to gain that from you? Do they just pop by and...
Really, they can just reach out to us at our main office in Visalia,
Okay.
Or their local office. Usually, we have offices in Visalia, Tulare, Porterville, some of the smaller outer areas. And they just reach out and see how we can connect them.
Oh, that's good. That's good. It sounds a little painless.
Yeah, it's really just the call or just connecting with someone. We have tons of referrals that we can do to make sure that we have a representative in that area contact you.
Nice. So that's one of the services, and I know you guys have a whole bunch according to your website. So.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I wanted to point out that Amanda just mentioned too is the referrals. We, as an organization, we know that somebody, they may be coming in for one service, but we also know that they're likely going to need more than just that one service. So it's not that, they don't come in and get it in a silo, but we work with the other departments and across departments to refer them, say, hey, you may need this. And so we're doing our best to provide the whole family approach, wraparound services for everybody, because we provide services for, youth, adults, seniors, jobs, everything. And so we want to be sure that while we have somebody in front of us, we're providing as many resources and opportunities as possible. But in addition to the energy services department, the next one we have is our community initiatives team. And that's really where it focuses, the key word is community. They're out in the community. We have rural offices in Early Mart, North County, and they're providing a lot of services to the community, working closely with the families, a lot of parent education, helping families who have students that are in school as English as a second language, helping them be active participants in school. And then they're also the community initiatives team, which is a really great program that we've had for the last several years, is senior services. So we operate 8 senior centers throughout the county, and then we also can deliver meals to a senior's home, and they have frozen meals, and that keeps them with healthy meals for a few weeks, and also that interaction with our senior services team.
Wow.
Nice. So those programs, are they made from CSET, or are they outside people that bring it in, or how does that work?
We are grant funded, so the majority, almost all of our funding is from either a federal, state, or local entity. We do have some donations and some foundations, and we do some fundraising work. But for the large part, we're applying for grants and receiving them, and then we're carrying out those programs. And a lot of them we've had for kind of essentially the inception of CSET. So energy, we've had that forever. So some programs come and go, but we have kind of had that core of our programming for a long time.
Right.
Wow, that's amazing. That really is amazing. So you touched, I can't remember if it was you, Amanda, somebody touched on the workforce. Can you share a little bit about that?
So one of our main components is really trying to assist individuals just finding work. You touched on that a little bit when back in the day. There's a lot of adults that are in need of work. Layoffs happen. It's hard to find employment. Coming from our local areas, everyone's battling for the same position sometimes. And so what we do is prepare individuals that we meet and service to just stand out a little bit more by assisting them with their resumes, discussing, work ethics and what's important to bring to the workforce, how to, stand out a bit more to the employer by proper approach. Dressing for success, financial literacy. So once you get that job, how are you going to maintain your finances? And so those are all things that we try to, start off with first, get them confident to enter the workforce, and then assist them with anything from job development, paid work contracts, internships, direct hires, just connecting with our community. That's where that collaboration part comes in. We really establish great partnerships with tons of employers, different organizations, to make sure that we have those resources and those opportunities for them.
Well, you guys have been around for 47 years, so you definitely have the community's back.
Tons.
I mean, the community has your back, right? So that's really good. Let's talk about the Low Barrier Navigation Center. Jeff, did you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, and that's something that we're very excited about. We just broke ground a little bit over a month ago. It's north end of Visalia, and what it's going to be is, as you said, a low barrier navigation center, and it can house up to 100 individuals for up to 90 days. And so the low barrier aspect of it means you don't have to be a certain religion, or there aren't any barriers to getting into the facility. We want to make sure that it's as open as possible so folks can get in. And then the navigation aspect of it is really providing those services. Once somebody is there, the whole host of services that we have, not only through CSET, but through a lot of our partner agencies. So there's going to be office space for our partner organizations there. CSET is going to have some. The workforce department is going to have space there. And so the idea is that once somebody, we're bringing the services directly to the folks that need it, not making them go out and, search, because it's difficult. There's so many organizations with so many different programs that can be difficult to keep it all together. So we're hoping, the hope is that when folks are there, the resources are available. It's easy for them to find them. They get the job training, whatever other resources they may need, so that we can help get them out into the community, because what CSET is all about is self-sufficiency. We want to help people. We want them on the track towards self-sufficiency. And so that's what all of our programming, and specifically the Navigation Center, is about, are bringing those services, helping folks get self-sufficient and working out into the community.
So an ideal, that would be, I'm sorry, I'm not really familiar with any of them, but that would be, so say somebody's homeless, they have a place to go for 90 days and get trained in something, basically, right?
Right, a place to stay. They can bring their family. Our Navigation Center, if you have a dog, there are going to be kennels, so then that's part of the low barrier aspect of it, is making it as easy as possible for someone to receive the services. And one thing that I did want to point out about our Navigation Center is that it's not a typical homeless shelter that people are used to. So you have to be referred there by a partner organization. So there aren't going to be, lines of people around needing services. Right. It's referred. The law enforcement are going to be also able to refer folks. So it's not a typical shelter in that sense, but it's a Navigation Center where folks are going to go. They can bring their families if they have them and receive all of the services available at one spot.
That's amazing.
Wow. So are you guys partnering with the local shelters and stuff like that? Yeah,
we have an organization. TC Hope is a kind of a nonprofit board that was created a few years ago, and they've done a lot of the fundraising. It's community members have done a lot of fundraising for the Navigation Center, and so they're all out in the community. We have a whole host of partners, city, county folks, and then CSET is going to be the main operator of the Navigation Center, along with the partner organizations providing those services.
Who do they have to be referred by? Is it like churches or just those kind of organizations?
Yes, both. I mean, we don't have a specific list, but partner community organization. There's going to be, and we're over a year out from this, we just broke ground, but there's going to be, software available where a different organization can go in and, like Amanda referenced, submit a referral. And so for this person, they're submitting it, goes to the Navigation Center, and so it's going to be, a well-coordinated effort. So we don't have a specific list of organizations, but nonprofits, churches, community folks who are out there. Yeah.
Oh, that's
nice.
That's really big. Yeah, that's major.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And it's a lot internal as well. Like, we have so many programs internally with CSET. So there's a lot of referrals that happen from program to program. So if, let's just say, for example, someone comes in and is needing that housing, I can simply put them in our system, do this assessment to see what their needs are, develop a plan, and know that that's one of the steps we need to take, is getting them referred over to the Navigation Center.
This is good, though, because it's kind of like you keeping people, because you're monitoring what they're doing and making sure that they're getting through the program.
Right.
Versus like the what you just said, it's kind of like they do that, but then it's not. You don't really know exactly what they're doing, right?
Part of the process when getting enrolled in one of the programs. So if they are wanting a referral to that to the navigation center. They are going, for my understanding, they're going to need to be a part of one of our programs or one of our, so that
Sort
is a
of
good
involved
way.
and
Involved.
make-
And so one of the biggest things that, for my department where I've worked in, is communication. And we document things. We want to make sure that we're keeping track of all the milestones and all the goals we want to hit for you.
good.
And so those are part of our success stories as well. We try to highlight just all the success that we have with our participants, and even just getting that referral over to them. We want to follow up and say, hey, like, did, for example, John Doe make it to the navigation center, and what's the process like, and how is he doing, and how can we help, and what other assistance may be needed. So it just doesn't end once they're referred out. We stay in communication, we follow up, we make sure that they're staying on track, and if there's any resources or assistance we can offer going forward, we will make sure that we do that.
That's wonderful.
And the term we use a lot is wraparound services. We want to wrap our services around the individual, their family, and so that's what Amanda's referencing. We want to be sure we're providing everything we can that's possible.
Right. So you said that it will house 100 people.
Up to 100, yeah.
And you're looking at a year from now?
Yeah, around a year, maybe a year and a few months. And like I said, we just broke ground like a month or so ago. So just really turning dirt and starting to get some stuff going.
Geographically, do you see maybe another one coming in a couple more years? Because the Tulare County is really booming and growing, and
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would say it's probably based on need, and to some degree, you would say, well, I hope not. We hope there is not a need for more, and so our hope is that this will help and bring some people off the streets to a central location where they provide those services, and case managers, like you said, to walk them through that process.
Right. That's good.
Yeah, that's amazing. So how did you guys develop that concept? I mean, who sort of kind of said, we see the need, let's do this?
Yeah, it was our executive director, Mary Alice, and then she worked with some community folks, and there was the TC Hope Board, which is Tulare County Hope for the Homeless, and then they were that nonprofit organization of community members who really spearheaded that effort and did a lot of the fundraising. And then it was really inspired by, I think it's called 40 Prado over in San Luis Obispo. So our sister agency of ours in San Luis, they have a similar low barrier navigation center, and so we were really inspired by that. Our folks have gone over to visit it a few times and just get the feedback and the structure and how does it look, and so we're really inspired by them and kind of making it our own here. But that was really what helped us get there.
Right.
And so was that the first one that like with the program?
The first low barrier navigation center, yeah.
And so this didn't come from like another state or nothing. This is just specific for California, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know that there's been some recent legislation a few years ago kind of outlining what a low barrier navigation center is. I'm not sure if there are similar ones throughout the rest of the nation. I'm sure there are, but it's definitely something in California. I think the key is just, it's the low barrier, making it as easy as possible for folks to come in. However, that obviously does not mean if anybody, drug or alcohol abuse, that is not okay. And so it's not that low. It's not that low over there.
Those 100 people need to be up to something to change their lives.
Which is backed up by, they're being referred and this,
No, and that's good. That's real good at keeping them accountable.
Right.
And you want to always make sure you got the right folks in there for sure, because there's only 100 spots, right? Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome. So I noticed on your website too, you guys have what's called Sequoia Community Core. Yeah. Who wants to share a little bit about that? I kind of thought that was a little interesting.
Yeah, I can talk about that one. So the Core is for young adults 18 to 26, and there are a ton of services throughout the Core, and so that can be, we have our Department of Recycling where you can take your recycling. We have some of the Core members go out and they collect the cans and bottles, and then we turn those in to collect for money. We have e-waste. The Core also is out in the community. They do construction work, so a lot of like public works, urban forestry department. They're out in communities. I know they've done some work in Tulare, miles of sidewalk, park improvement projects. They're out doing that type of cleanup. And then one thing that's also cool about our Corps is we have John Muir Charter School that we work with out of our Visalia office, and that's a charter high school for young adults who are needing some sort of credit recovery, and they are to finish their diploma. And so it's really tailored to those young adults. And then the cool thing is that they spend a week in class and then a week with the Corps, so they're out in an urban forestry team, or they're out helping pick up the cans, the big recycling cans, and so then they go back another week to their school. So it's really a great arrangement for somebody who's needing to finish their diploma. And then we also have recently really, really expanded some of our programs, highway cleanup programs. We've gotten a large grant from Butte County, and then we've really been seen as kind of the pilot for them. And so we started out small, but we've really expanded. We have Porterville, we're now in South County and into Kern County, maybe going into Kings County. And so that's where, out in the community, out on the highways, picking up trash. It's a litter abatement programs. We're working with Caltrans, but they're really, really great programs because they're providing employment for the folks who are needing it and cleaning up the community.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you find people to serve community while you're serving them.
Yep. And I just want to point out as an aside, our website, CSET.org, has all of this information. And I know, we're kind of rambling and we talk a lot.
Tons.
The names get all mixed up.
Right. When I went to the website just to kind of get, I was literally blown away. There's really a lot of stuff you guys offer community, and that's really beautiful.
And
go ahead.
And it's good because if a lot of people out there like me, I don't like when it's too much going on. I'm like, okay, I don't want to read all this, or you know what I mean. So like this is,
now you don't have to read. We do this.
Come on, what's the biz?
Yeah, you can answer the questions.
Exactly. So this is just picking your brain on what you guys do and stuff like that. So So you guys do different age groups. What's the highest age do y'all?
Yeah, let's talk demographics.
Yes, we work with all kinds of folks. We have, and like I mentioned, we have the senior services department. So we have programs for youth, the young adults, even less than 18, and then all the way up to seniors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't discriminate.
That's good, though.
We do cover variety. I mean, for me at our location here, it's from youth as young as 16 all the way, I think even 16 all the way up to, we've seen some people come in like in their 80s.
Wow.
We have a Title V program that's for seniors to get work. So sometimes you'll see them in our local offices or just getting them placed different areas in the community. So,
and these are retired seniors that can come and kind of circle back in life and say, hey, help me out.
Over.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing.
I forgot. Mom went through that.
She did do
For
that.
those who don't know, this is my fiance right here, my beautiful fiance.
Yes.
But my mom did. She went through CSET. So, yeah.
And then she ended up working for them as well.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
She did reception in Visalia and then Tulare. I don't know if you remember Becky Graham.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Make the cookies.
She baked all the time.
She's probably
Everyone
famous.
loves her baking.
Her baking goods.
Yes.
That's
Every
my
time I
sis.
bring cake to the office, did you make this? I'm like, no, it's safe.
Yeah.
Becky made it.
But yeah, I know you mentioned we kind of skimmed it a little bit, but on funding and it is a nonprofit, correct?
Yes.
Can you just kind of expand on what type of funding or what does that look like? I know you mentioned donations and things like that, but if you can just kind of elaborate a little bit on that.
Yeah, we received some donations, but the majority of our funding is grants, federal, state, local grants, and even some, if we're applying to a local agency, it originates as federal dollars. And so we are a nonprofit organization, and we do throughout the year some campaigns. We do like a Giving Tuesday campaign, which is around the Thanksgiving time. Folks are spending, but we also say, there's a Giving Tuesday. There's an opportunity to participate. So we are fundraising throughout the year for little things here and there, but the majority of our funding is through federal, state, and local grants.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And I always like to highlight that part, the nonprofit. A lot of people come in or, well, how much is that? And do I have to pay that back? And no, all of our services are free of charge.
Say that again.
Free
of charge. CSET is free of charge. I think people fear that. So they might hear about something, but it's always, especially the low income people, that are kind of lacking in it's hard to, some people, it's hard for them to believe that there's anything free in this world.
We get asked that. Sometimes I have, individuals come in and I'm like, hey, I can take you shopping. You need that? I can support you with that service. Well, what's the catch?
Yeah.
Right.
There's got to be a
There's
catch.
no catch. I just need you to participate and communicate and try your best.
That's amazing.
And our service, you mentioned low income. Our services are for low income, so sometimes there's eligibility requirements, but it's being lower income, and we're really serving the lower income population of our county. And I know I promise not to get too many statistics, but I think this is interesting.
We like statistics.
Okay, I'll just give a few.
Share.
So in the Tulare County wide, 14% of residents are at or below the poverty level. So throughout Tulare County, but of our folks that we are serving, 84% of them are at or below the poverty level. So 14% countywide, but for us, it's 84%. Right. So
Wow.
So we are really serving, which makes sense because our programs are geared for low income folks, but that's who we are serving is the low income segment of our population. Like you said, there's, it's free of charge.
Yeah.
There is no catch, just usually the low income eligibility, and that's all we need.
Do you know if there's been a spike in that in the last few years? Because I know jobs are kind of more scarce now. Or?
I would say definitely with COVID occurring,
Right.
that we saw a huge increase in our numbers. And so, definitely has increased over the last 2 years. Thankfully, we have seen that our employment rate has lessened a little bit. So that's always a good thing. Something's starting to balance out a little bit. But we have tons of traffic. So,
And that's good when you see people coming in for help. Yeah, that's really good.
And it's even better to hear that they were, referred by a friend or they knew somebody who received services.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things is sometimes people aren't even aware that we're in the community. And we try our best to get out there as much as possible. This definitely being a platform we can use, but just letting people know that we're here, we're available. These are the services that we can offer, and just to come in.
Yeah, I know. Just thinking about, back in the day, for myself, there's times where just sitting here and having this conversation, I'm reminded of struggles, and CSET was there for me. I'm reminded of not having the confidence to go out and interview, and CSET was there for me. There was a young lady in the Vice office, I'll never forget her name was Mary, and she just kind of carried me through, just learning how to talk, and I remember being super, super young and not knowing anything. And so I found great value in CSET. So it's kind of cool. Like when we were talking about doing this show and it just got my wheels spinning and memories going. I'm like, yeah, great organization. Well, with that being said, one of the things that I really was when I went to your website and your guys' mission. And if you don't mind, I kind of want to highlight and read that to our listeners, just so you know the mission of CSET and what that's about. It says, CSET inspires youth, families, and communities to achieve self-reliance through innovative pathways and collaboration. And if that's not the truth. And then there was something else you guys had there. It said the promise of community action. I really like that. It said community action changes people's lives, embodies the spirit of hope, improves communities, and makes America a better place to live. We care about the entire community, and we are dedicated to helping people themselves and each other. And that just really, I just got goosebumps. That really, really touched me because I'm a part of that. Right. I was a part of that. Right. So I think what you guys are doing is phenomenal. Right.
And you're part of it now, helping us get the word out.
There you go.
That's right.
And you had mentioned events and things like that. Let us know, and we can definitely highlight those for you and just kind of put the word out into community, what you guys got going on, fundraisers, whatever that takes.
That'd be awesome. We have a lot of events throughout the year. We just finished our big senior day in the park at Mooney Grove. We had Elvis was there. He was the highlight.
We missed that, Jay.
Yeah, Elvis? He was. Yeah, it was fun. So definitely. And we're on, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything. So check us out. Check out our website. But
and what was that website again?
CSET.org.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else you guys would like to share before we kind of sign out and? Anything you guys can think of? Because I know, again, CSET has a lot of stuff, man.
I'd like to say something. I'd like to say that this is great hearing, because when I went back to school, I didn't realize how much help there was for people to even go back to school.
Right.
And like you said, a lot of times the information it's out there, but it's like when somebody tells you to go to the library. Well, what book do I read? Or,
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. Just
It's
go.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's just overwhelming. So especially if you don't come from an education background, and these things ain't common. You know what I mean? So this is really good to know that this kind of help is out there for the
Yes.
common person.
Yes.
And a lot of times people just don't know. And I feel like this is, especially what we talked about today, is like the no excuse policy. I always say, like, there's no excuse. If you want to go to school, you can go to school.
Yeah.
If you want to work, you can help get work.
Yeah.
If you want to if you're homeless, you want to get back on your feet,
There's programs.
There's programs. You know what I'm saying?
Support.
So, like, there's no excuse.
Right.
There's no
Right.
excuse. It's just, getting that word out there. That's what we're here to help get the word out
Right.
there more.
For sure.
But this is really awesome hearing these.
And like I keep saying, it's in there with collaboration. We don't operate in silos. We work with other departments within CSET. And if it's not something that we can do, we have other partner organizations that we're going to refer. Well, CSET doesn't,
right.
but you should call so and so. And so, like you said, even if you're looking for help, looking for support, just call us. Go to our website, and if we can't help, we'll get you to somebody who can.
That's one thing we highlight. We're not we don't just service, we have resources as well. So just piggybacking off of what Jeff said, if we don't have it for you, we're going to find somebody who does.
See, and that's beautiful because, like Jay said, you come in with you're just the uncertainty and not knowing what you guys have, but just knowing that you guys can support them all the way through it.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful.
That's the goal. I mean, if people are coming into our office, there's no reason why they should leave empty-handed. We have to give them some type of lead, some type of service. Because we know, like I shared, I was that kid walking into an office that needed help. And had I been turned down, I probably would have never turned back. But thankfully, that wasn't my experience. And I feel like it's molded me and shaped me to where I am now. And so that's what we want to do. We want to offer that to the people that come in. So
That's amazing.
take advantage of it.
I have another question too. If somebody has ideas for certain programs that maybe CSET may not be covering, how would they go about trying to implement that? Or
Just call Amanda.
okay, great.
Approved. Yeah. And then I'd go ahead and call Jeff.
Just go back and forth.
You got it.
They can check out our website, csed.org, or just give us a call. Our main number is 559-732-4194. And, we're open to ideas, open to collaboration, and it's really all about providing that service. And so we want to be able to provide those services. If it's not something we're doing, then there's an opportunity for something new to take place. We're all ears.
Yeah.
Right.
Good. We'll get all that information definitely posted. But thank you both for
Thank you.
sharing the information. It's always good to see Amanda. It's nice meeting you,
too.
Jeff.
Thank you.
Yes.
And again, it's May is National Community Action Month, and we're happy to highlight CSET. And as they shared, there's a lot of great resources, so make sure you check them out because there may be a beautiful opportunity for you there as well. Okay, Jay, take us home.
Yes. That was great.
Yeah.
Thank you guys again. That was it. We're gonna put all the information there for you guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Peace.
Bye-bye.